Howdy, folks. I'm Jeff, and welcome to this episode of Tools, Technology, and Training, sponsored by 180 Biz, Rick and Brenda White. We appreciate so much them sponsoring, where we can get out and share the stories along with our other sponsors: Milton Industries, Shop Dog Marketing, Associated Equipment, and special guest Lester at Dorman. A lot of y'all know him that way, but it is Lester Kovacs, and we're so thrilled that Lester joined us. Dorman is doing amazing things besides coming out with the new products that improve over the OE and replacement parts for the OE when you don't need the whole assembly, and all the time trying to find ways to supply when there's so many shortages in our industry when you got back orders and stuff. But they also do a lot of training and other stuff that y'all might not know about. And so we really wanted Lester to come on and share about this, the new products. How do you find out about it? Last time I talked to him, I said he was showing us some new stuff, and it was, we were talking about the, one of the door panels on the Chevy
Yep.
trucks last year.
Yep. Currently out of stock. We didn't anticipate how much demand there would be. It's the number one searched for part on our website using the where to buy function.
Number one.
Number one right now.
Oh my gosh. And that was so amazing because you just had it sitting there and I was like, oh my gosh, that's a door panel where these armrests break. And my question was at that time was, Lester, how do we find out about all these new deals? And it was like, oh, there's a newsletter or something. And folks just don't sit down and read all these things that come out, do they?
It is tough. I mean, a lot of times I'll go to shows. We were just at the tool show in Harrisburg, and I intentionally bring parts we've had for several years. And a service advisor or technician will say, I had no idea you had that. And it's not their fault. It's just not what they're used to. I mean, you grew up in the business, Gary, Kathleen as well too. You can appreciate this. There's certain parts you have a mindset of, hey, I'm not even going to call my aftermarket supplier. I'm going to go back to the dealer because it's an aesthetic trim piece, or it's something again that you have that mindset of it's going to be only available from the dealer. So we encourage everybody to go on our site right across the top. Don't want to take up too much time. There's a what's new part where you could sign a what's new section. And then right above that, there's email newsletters. Simply
Now,
put in, yep,
is,
good.
is that on dorman.com? Is that where you're saying to go to?
Great question. I kind of jumped the gun. Dormanproducts.com. So it's all one word, dormanproducts.com. Brings you right to our website. And at the top of the page, across the top, dark gray banner, right around in the middle, you'll see email newsletters. When you click on that, there's an option to sign up for four different, they're all important, but they all have their different reasons. I'm actually cheating over here on my other screen, just pulling it up here. Don't
We
know
can
it all.
share
So
that if you want to share it.
yeah, that wouldn't hurt if you don't mind. Let me share it real quick. Let me know when you all can see it.
Yeah, it's the share is on.
All right. I don't want to take up too much from. Do I have to make that bigger
No,
somehow?
no, that's
That's fine.
we're over on the sides, and that's all the way across the middle.
Okay. So you can see it now?
Yeah. Yep.
Perfect. So right, so dormanproducts.com. When I click on the email newsletters, it's really small font on my screen. It brings you to this page. What Jeff was talking about was the must-see solutions. So you simply click on all the ones you want, and then the check mark box will appear in the upper left-hand corner. We also have tech bulletins. So certain parts where we follow what the OEM does, the part will look different than the original one. A lot of times that scares technicians, and I don't blame them if they don't know. So we have tech bulletins that talk about revisions and different things we've done. So you can click on those. And then I'm sure most people are aware by now, but in 2012, we broke into the heavy duty business. So Dayton Parts will give you a glimpse into our heavy duty solutions. A lot of that is steering, wheel end, brakes, some actually commoditized parts we don't do on the light duty side. In addition to, we still bring that light duty OE fixed flavor over to the heavy duty side. So we also come out with things that are dealer only on the heavy duty side. We have a network there that we work with as well. And then the last but not least is Shop Press. This does not talk anything about Dorman products. This is more of just interesting articles for repair professionals. So the latest one was talking about cores, what cores are, how it works, logistics of cores, all different types of things. So again, you could click on all four, 1, 2, 3. You fill out, there's 5 required fields here, first name, last name. And then if you're interested in product training, you can click on that. We also have a loyalty rewards program, which is relatively new for shops as well. So you can earn points that will allow you to purchase a lot of cool things in our store for submitting new ideas, OEM part numbers, testimonials, all different types of things. And then of course, with terms and conditions, like anything, you have to agree to that, sign up, and we don't spam you. So, and let me know if I'm taking up too much time, Jeff, but every month we come out with about 300 new products. 290 of those our customer base are aware of, right? It's another window regulator, it's another bouncer, it's another exhaust manifold. 10 of those 290 are things like that door handle, that where you had to buy a whole entire assembly from the dealer and we just sell the part that's serviceable, not from the dealer. Or in some cases, we'll offer a whole entire assembly where it cuts down hours on the job installation, or we'll re-engineer the product. Everyone knows about the oil filter housing by now, where the original 3/6 is plastic and we do aluminum. Those are the type of things you get. It's a once a month mailing. We don't spam you at all. And I'll show you real quick what it looks like. We archive up to a rolling year of all of them. After that year, they get kicked out. So once you sign up for it, this is exactly what you're going to get. The new product announcements will go into Maze. And then even for outside sales folks, I encourage them, because if they don't have anything on the ready, they can go to the printer, hit this view sales flyer, and now you're seeing all of the cool things we released in May that you typically wouldn't think of we had. To remind that counter professional, service advisor, whoever it may be, because we need awareness on all ends. I've walked into stores before where they've said no to a customer, and we have to get better at getting this out there and the training out there. So the first one is an upgraded, and it even tells you the whole story and the problem. I won't go into it in full detail, but on the Infiniti and Nissan Z, it's a plastic oil pan that had a tendency to fail over and over again. So we redesigned it out of aluminum for this particular one. Then you go below that, stainless steel preformed brake lines. We already had this out there. I do feel like not most people do know, but we're adding newer and newer applications. And then going down further, this is a brand new category for us. I'm excited about DEF and all the components with it. We have the pumps, we have the heaters. We're now doing the lines. The actual sensor goes bad pretty frequently on these. You can't separate it from the whole entire line. The DEF is highly corrosive. I think it's 2/3 water. The last third's a urea, so it's very corrosive. So we just launched this one for the F-250 Super Duty. Electronic parking brakes. They're failing from wear and tear. And unfortunately, sometimes we don't always read the service information, Jeff, and that technician forgets to put that in service mode, and that can cause failure too for the electronic parking brake. So this is just a quick glimpse of what you'll get on a monthly basis. And again, if you ever want to go back to our website, we keep a rolling queue of 1 year's worth of all these announcements. So when you go back to the site, you can actually scroll down and see all the different parts. If you scroll down far enough, you'll see what you were speaking about, which was both of the repairs for the door armrest repair kits for 2010 to 14. All of your full-size GM trucks, your Yukon, Tahoe, Suburban.
Well, then I noticed if you scroll back up there,
Yep.
I didn't realize y'all had the loaded
Oh, yep. We keep
spindle.
expanding that line. Yeah, the first one out was the really popular Explorer. That's another case where the customer comes in. Typically, the bearing will wear first, but all the labor involved on a 10, 15-year-old vehicle with all the, and depending on what part of country you're in, to get that bearing out to service it, and you realize the dust shield's a little bit beat up, you're pounding on the knuckle and everything else. So we've done really well with that. We're up over, I think, close to about 90 SKUs that have the whole assembly together, the knuckle, the bearing, the dust shield, and everything else. And then on the rears, it also includes the parking brake assembly as well.
Oh my gosh, because that right there is a huge time saver.
I'll tell you a quick story on it. Site's a little bit slow here. I don't know if it's because I'm online. It's trying. So if you notice there, I put in that the keyword search is pretty robust. So I put loaded axle in. So this
Okay.
is specific to the Tundras, Tacomas, and then the Lexus equivalents. So typically, again, you have either a dust shield or a bearing failure. And I don't know if you've worked with a lot of the shops, they cannot stand that. They'll send a lot of these out because of the press and the tools that are required to remove and press the bearing back on. So we took the approach Monroe did years ago for struts when they changed the game with offering a loaded strut. So this is a loaded pre-pressed axle. We went to our local Toyota dealer to do the try on. They had a Tacoma or a Tundra there. And we have good relationships. Like, yeah, we'll give it a try. And we didn't have it available yet. And they said, we want to order all the SKUs right now because the technician loved it. For me, and they even have all the tools, again, just fighting with it to take it apart. So you see here, it has all the different details and everything else in there. It has all the pictures and all the application coverage. I believe it's right now we're up to about 19 SKUs total. Again, this is specific to the Tundra. We're also looking to do some of the Nissan trucks as well. So it gives you all the detailed applications, along with the OE direct cross for all the part numbers that are included with all the different attributes for that particular product. So sorry, you were talking about the front loaded knuckles, and I figured I would talk about these two. We've had these for quite some time. Again, this is a part that I would take to a show, and a lot of people don't realize that we already have these available.
Talking with you about last time we saw you at the show was these folks getting to know all of this stuff and to realize, oh my gosh, this is, because time is money to us. And if we can save a little time and, the price is relative and you're saving on the labor, oh my gosh, right there,
Yep.
we turn more cars, we can get them out. And the same with those manifolds, we know those problems like that, but there's a few deals. It's like, oh my gosh, we got to get the word out to these folks about knowing about that. And the other thing I saw there was on that second one, when they were talking about the parts, was you had installation videos on showing, because like on that door panel, when we looked at that armrest, it was like, yeah, you got to drill a couple bolts here and a couple right there. You had the videos up in that first part when you were signing up there. It said that there was videos that showed that too.
Correct. So down with all of our parts, we have all this on the left here will stay, and you can go through the description, application specifications under documents and support. That's where we have the installation instructions by SKU. This one does not have a video yet. They're a little bit of a backlog. They pump out 4 or 5 videos every week using our garage here in Colmar, PA. But this one will have detailed instructions you see here for the armrest repair kit, going through the areas, how to remove it and how to install it. It is a little bit labor intensive, but you're talking about a door panel that you can get from the salvage for maybe $100, but it's already on its way out. Matter of fact, one of our salvage contacts is the one that's told us about it. He was getting so many requests, and for every 10 he would find, maybe one would be good, because what we did is, you saw at the show, we reinforced the center. There's a metal piece underneath ours that goes all the way through underneath that you don't see. Because what happens is that was almost like a dead spot where there was no support. So after years of pulling that door closed, that center part just rips right off. So this has all the instructions as you said. And if there were videos, it would be underneath here. And the other thing I wanted to talk everyone about, we've had it for about a year now, but not everyone knows about it, is we have a where to buy feature. More and more customers are coming on board. It's not just retail, it's also traditional. And this is live as long as they share it. This is a bad example because I told you this one, it blew up our demand planning. Right now we're reforecasting it. We're going to bring a lot more in. So you'll see nothing here is showing. It says call for availability. But if I put a part in, for example, still popular today, the ever popular 615 180, older applications, the upper intake manifold for the GM 3/8. If you go down to the where to buy function, you can see it here. Lansdale Auto Parts locally has it in stock. Not as many as I thought. Doylestown Auto Parts. So again, depending on the partners and if they're sharing their inventory data with us, it will come up, and it will also have different part numbers. So for Napa, it will also show the Napa interchange. So for Napa Auto Parts, our local Napa store, it'll say ask for the 600 1186 because they use some different part numbers on certain SKUs. So it's a pretty slick feature as we get more and more customers on board. It'll have more data in there. It just gives them real-time snapshot of, hey, I see that this person not only has it, they're a carrier of Dorman, they have these particular parts in stock.
Yeah, that right there is useful because that was a question that I had was like the O'Reillys and the AutoZones and the Napas, they don't do they carry all of this in their warehouses, or is it available from them like within a couple of days, or how does that?
It varies. I mean, most of the time on the A, B's, and C movers, the eight. So in the perfect world, when we're all in stock, and it's gotten a lot better in the last year and a half, the A's are in stock at the store level. The B's usually are mostly at the store level. The C and the D's are then at their hub location, which they can typically get the same day as long as it's not 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So the things you're waiting on for that day or 2 days are the lower pop codes, things that either dealer wouldn't stock anymore, or even for them, they would have to special order it. So that's the way that we have it set up in the perfect world. There are exceptions where certain parts will take off and we didn't foresee getting that much demand. So we'll have to replan for it to get them back in stock.
This is like, to me, so helpful there where you're actually showing different parts, once a month. Oh my gosh, hey, look at this. Here's the new things that come out, because you see the need out in when you go to the trade shows, things that folks don't understand is going to these events, the networking opportunities that are there, the meeting and setting and getting to talk with the different folks, and y'all do a ton of stuff with G. And when I was at Vision, I was amazed that it's just like, hey, you can sit down with him, talk. Your folks are there. They're just, okay, yeah, how can we help? And so that is so neat. Y'all have gotten into more and more training. You're doing the videos, but you're getting out more uh, to uh, to the events, or just doing training in general. So can you talk a little bit about that? Like there was one today that was oh, and now we switched to a different one, Dorman Training
We
Center.
did. It's
And
at dormantrainingcenter.com. You don't have to put the app once you click on different things on the site. That's why it says training events at the end. But dormantrainingcenter.com, free for everyone to sign up. We have a ton of free content. G and his team continually do the 1 hour free lunch webinars on a regular basis. In addition to that, there's plenty of other on-demand videos, and it also lists all of our upcoming training events. Actually, Kathleen, I didn't quite pick up exactly where you're at in Florida. We're doing a live event 18th, 19th, and 20th. If you go to the training events, click on all. This is our upcoming rebroadcast of Advanced Misfire. And then we have Critical Thinking Diagnostic Strategies in class June 18th through June 20th.
offered 3 days at 3 locations across Florida. I think that's the one that I saw that was signing up, because it's not like you're just trying to sell parts. You're trying to help fix vehicles.
It's a huge problem. With getting skilled technicians in our industry. I think there's still a perception out there. I think all the companies out there, hats off to them. Garage Gurus, fantastic job. SMP, all of them have great programs, and I think it was something that we felt the need that we wanted to get involved in.
Well, I so much appreciate you coming on, you sharing that.